The Nightmare Before Christmas is a cult classic, a perfect holiday movie for both Halloween and Christmas. But this film wasn't always a success. It actually started its run as a box office flop. So today we're looking at the journey The Nightmare Before Christmas went on, from where it started to the dramas surrounding the Nightmare production, and finally how it went from a box office flop to a massive cult classic success. So to start this off, we have to take it back to 1979. Tim Burton was offered an animation apprenticeship at Disney Studios after attending California Institute of Arts. His work caught the attention of producer Julie Hickson and the head of creative development at Disney at the time, Tom Wilhite. They sensed that Burton's originality might be worth exploring on non-traditional Disney projects. It was Wilhite who helped find funding to make the animated short Burton had written and would direct, entitled Vincent. It was about a boy who wanted to grow up to be an actor like Vincent Price. You can actually see an early version of Jack Skellington's character briefly in this short film, but in 1982, Burton worked on another poem story like Vincent, but this time about a Halloween land. It was 3 pages long and featured Jack Skellington, his ghost dog Zero, who had a tiny glowing orange jack-o'-lantern nose, and Santa Claus. It was called The Nightmare Before Christmas. Animator Henry Selick, who ended up directing the movie, first encountered Tim Burton and his Nightmare Before Christmas while they were both at Disney. Burton proposed it to Disney as a half-an-hour television holiday special, perhaps narrated by Vincent Price. Burton also proposed it as a possible children's book, but again, Disney was uninterested. They said the idea was too weird for their image. Not long after this, Burton was actually fired from Disney, though Disney still held the rights to the artwork and the story for The Nightmare Before Christmas. They locked it away in their vault. But as we know, Burton went off to direct the highly successful Beetlejuice and Batman. Now, as a very successful director, Burton went back to Disney asking to buy back his art and story of The Nightmare Before Christmas. But Disney, seeing Burton's success now at the box office, were more willing to explore his idea and decided to make it with him. So The Nightmare Before Christmas was originally greenlit with $18 million and 2 years to complete it. This budget was approved with no script, no storyboards, no test footage, no idea if the budget and timeline would even work for this production. So of course, the budget and timeline ended up having to be extended. The final budget was about $23 million. Production started with Henry Selick at the helm of this ship as director, as Tim Burton was away directing Batman Returns at the time. Selick ended up having to start creating a lot of scenes as the scripts from the screenwriter Michael McDowell were massively delayed. Danny Elfman, who was in charge of the musical scores, ended up writing most of the songs for the movie before the scripts were finished. Elfman would talk to Burton about what was happening in certain beats of the film, and then he would go off and write the music for it. He would then send that out to the Skellington crew, who started animation. So, why were no scripts being produced? Well, according to Caroline Thompson, who ended up writing the scripts, the original screenwriter, Michael McDowell, had a love affair with drugs, and what little work he had done prior to her hiring was unusable, bordering on non-existent.
Dear Michael, gone now, had a love affair with cocaine. They took his salary up his nose and wrote nothing.
So, now with Caroline Thompson on board writing the scripts, production is full steam ahead. The size of the production was quite frankly enormous. Animation began in July 1991 with a crew of over 120 people and also 230 sets. 20 individual sound stages were used during the busiest part of the production. After filming had been completed, over 109,000 frames had been taken. In addition to this, over 227 puppets were constructed for the film's characters. Jack Skellington had over 400 heads that represented every conceivable emotion. Interestingly, Jack's figurine was reused for Captain Jack in Selick's 1996 film, James and the Giant Peach. Danny Elfman, who I mentioned was writing the musical scores, actually fell in love with the character of Jack Skellington during this time. He became so attached to him that he wanted to perform not only the singing parts, but also the acting parts of this role. Unfortunately, when everything was coming together, it became clear that Elfman wasn't cut out for the acting role. They brought in Chris Sarandon to bring Jack Skellington's voice to life and kept Elfman singing his songs. There was also a lot of drama surrounding the ending of this movie. At one point, director Henry Selick pitched to Tim Burton the idea that Oogie Boogie was actually Dr. Finkelstein in disguise. When Tim heard this pitch, he apparently got so mad.
He kicked a hole in the wall.
Caroline Thompson also had some concerns about Oogie Boogie. She and Danny Elfman thought he had some racist undertones, but Tim told her that she was being oversensitive. She also wanted to have a go at rewriting the ending as well, saying she wanted to add a couple more beats with Jack and Sally in order for the romance to feel truly earned and not just tacked on. Tim, again, did not like this idea and apparently started screaming and attacking editing machines.
I did not get to rewrite the new ending.
So there was a lot of blood, sweat and tears put into this gorgeous film, and it was all worth it when it became an instant box office success, right? Wrong. Disney, still not convinced this film would fit their brand, released it under their sister company, Touchstone Pictures. They still weren't sure who the audience would be for this movie and struggled to market it because of that. The movie came out with mixed reviews. Some people loved it, some not. Some loved the music but thought the story was weak. Others not enjoying the music. In the end, after marketing and distribution, the movie only broke even at the box office with $50 million. And that was it. The film finished its run at the theatre and everyone went their own way. Until a decade later, when the film finally found its audience. It became a home video sales success. Touchstone Home Video originally released it on VHS on September 30th, 1994. It was then later released on DVD on December 2nd, 1997. On October 3rd, 2000, they released a special edition DVD with extra features like audio commentary and a making of documentary. After seeing its home video sales success, Walt Disney were now finally happy to have it fall under the Disney name and released it on DVD with an anamorphic transfer and on Blu-ray on August 26, 2008. A Blu-ray 3D version was released August 30th, 2011, and in 2018, Disney issued a sing-along version, which was later released on Disney Plus in 2022. And finally, in celebration of the 30th anniversary, the film was remastered in 4K and released on 4K Blu-ray August 2023. There were also multiple reissues at the box office. The first reissue in 1994 made $8 million. In 2006, it made $11.1 million. In 2008, it made $15.8 million. In 2009, it made $2.5 million. In 2020, it made $2.3 million. And in 2023, it made $6.4 million. In total, with all the reissues and re-releases, the box office numbers 30 years later have almost doubled to $97 million. Along with the home video and the delayed box office success, The Nightmare Before Christmas has performed incredibly well in merchandising, with figurines, lunchboxes, beach towels, backpacks, mugs, clothing, you name it. There is everything in The Nightmare Before Christmas merchandising. This film happened because of the incredible dedication, passion, and love from Henry Selick, Danny Elfman, Caroline Thompson, and all the talented crew who came together to make it happen. I think the reason why it ended up becoming such a massive success is because you can see that love and passion for this project come through. Despite the failure to recognize the film's potential from Disney and not being able to market it correctly, the audience did manage to find this cult classic, and it continues to be a staple during the holiday season. Now, if you're interested in seeing someone else's love and passion for their art shine through, check out this video I did on Keanu Reeves. Thank you everyone who's made it this far. If you have, could you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button?